Hello there and welcome back to another edition of Silly Car Showdown. This time I am taking a look at the Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS Forza Edition, also known as the Donk. This was requested, unsurprisingly, by Angel, who wanted to see what would happen when this car gets a certain Pacific engine, which we'll get to in a second. Yeah, it is a rather silly car. You can earn this thing through the Forza prize spins, prize level ups, whatever they are. Yeah, it's a crazy contraption. It really is. Anyways, it's time to make it more crazy because let's go to the engine swaps, and you can put in the 7-litre Hemi V8, which is pretty crazy, or the NASCAR engine to make this thing the NASDonk. And that's what we're going to do with this car today. Interestingly enough, no drivetrain swaps. Unfortunately, no four-wheel drive donk fun. Of course, we won't be able to do that anyway because, per the rules of the series, there is no drivetrain swaps. Right. I'm trying to wonder... Now, it reduces weight. The problem is that is going to block my visibility ridiculously, so I don't really want it. So we will leave it off of the car. We will indeed want race tyres. Right. How big are 275s on the front? Okay, that's promising. 345s on the rear. Jesus Christ, look at the size of them tyres. They look massive on these 24s. Because that's how all my partners roll. We are definitely going to want a race gearbox because this thing stock comes with a 4-speed, I think it is. The Monte Carlo SS, like the stock version of this car, not all that interesting. I think it's 180 brake horsepower. Yeah, just not a particularly interesting car. 4-speed auto, very, very slow. Not quite as slow as the good old King Cobra, but it isn't far off. And there we go. Surprisingly enough, actually gets it into R class, which I wasn't expecting, actually. I don't remember this thing getting into R class. Anyways, let us back out and, well, let's take a look at what we've got. We have 994 horsepower, 783 foot-pound torque, 2,860 pounds of weight. Actually, a lot lighter than I thought it was. Front weight distribution of 56%, R8002PI. Front-engined rear-wheel drive. I'm not actually sure how this is going to go, to be honest with you. It could be interesting. It's interesting to see if the race suspension is actually really going to make a difference to this car, or if it's just going to kind of drive like the stock Monte Carlo would with a NASCAR engine and all the rest of it. So, yeah, certainly an interesting one. Let's go find out how it does. To find out how the NASDonk gets along, it is going to get 7 laps of the Brands Hatch Indy course to set the best time it possibly can. Currently, it is the Lotus Elise GT12 with a 43.846. The NASDonk, really very, very unlikely to go ahead and beat that, but you never know. You never know. Oh my god, this is not the Ford GT from last time. As far as where this car's probably going to go, realistically, probably the lower end of the board. The Volvo 850 NASCAR Nightmares, the slowest car with the NASCAR engine currently, that's got a 50.6. Polaris V8 Golf Carts, 51.4. Rotary Isetta, 52.3. So somewhere in that ballpark. If I had to guess, this thing's probably not going to be quite as slow as the Isetta, because it does actually have... Well, actually, I don't know if it has more straight line speed than the Isetta or not. It's got less chance of falling over than that, or I say that as the front wheel is starting to cock itself. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. The gear ratios on this thing are hilariously long. 52.6. Well, at least that prevents it from being right at the bottom of the board. It is on its first lap quicker than the USS Ford F100 and the Citroën 2CV, which is always a good sign. Right, power. Yes, that's going well. It's quite a weird car to adjust yourself to driving. Interestingly enough, as far as driving goes, as long as you don't shake the wheel too violently back and forth, it isn't too terrible. It does actually kind of drive like the stock Monte Carlo probably does, it just has bigger tyres. The problem is, those bigger tyres can kind of, yeah, you can sort of see the car sort of bucking right there. It will do that, it'll cock itself. 50.368, it's quicker than the Volvo, and it's quicker than I was expecting. That's actually not too far off the Mazda 3, which is interesting. Yeah, wasn't expecting the NASDonk to get that far up. Then again, the Mazda is a S-Class car only. As far as if it beats the Mazda, the next car up is the AMC Pacer V8 Twin Turbo. That's a 49.527. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, ironically enough, to drive. It can get a little scary from time to time, like that when it decides to lift the wheel up for no apparent reason. That is quite scary, but as long as it doesn't do the... Oh god, the brakes. Yeah, the brakes are not the Ford GT's brakes. Can't quite brake there. I need to think early. Actual straight line speed is pretty good. Again, the interesting thing with this is it is a lot lighter than I would have predicted. The stock car for this weighs about 3,800 pounds, I think, or something. It's come down to 2,800 now. I should have really looked. I don't know if the NASCAR engine makes this a lot lighter than the standard one. If I was to hazard a guess, I'd probably say no, considering NASCAR engines aren't massively sophisticated, but don't know for certain. Right, this is apparently a dirty lap. Oh yeah, right, we went off on the first corner. Still got a couple of laps to go with the donk though. You can tell when the front wheel's lifting, or one of the wheels is lifting up, because the other wheel instantly starts to catch fire and you see the revs rise horrifically. That's the sign that this car is sort of bucking, which isn't particularly a fun experience. Again, it's nowhere near as bad as the Polaris. The Polaris was truly an awful machine. We are going to get bounced onto the dirt. Excellent. Well done, Donk. You screwed yourself. I'm not sure if that was actually looking to be a quicker lap or not, though. On the plus side, its off-roading skills are probably remarkable, judging by the fact that I could just sort of drive over that pretty unhindered. Yeah, I would hazard a guess that the Donk is pretty good at bumps and stuff. As long as it doesn't bump... Well, I say bumps. It's pretty good at avoiding them by driving around them, I guess. It actually doesn't like the bumps in general. Like, if you clip a bump, the car's going out wide, which is not ideal in the NASDonk. Right, there we go. Try and launch it. It launches okay. It's surprisingly grippy when it does. You can sort of see it ask for a little bit of traction, but it's not terrible. Again, apparently I can just sort of drive that bump, so I may as well do it, see if it shakes some time off. I do think gentle is probably the best way to drive this car, though, instead of trying to balls it out all the time. Run to the line, a 49.948 on its second to last lap, coming on to the final lap now. It does beat the Mazda, but can it get up to that pacer? That is the question. I don't think it can, but you never know. There we go, try and be gentle off the curb here. Beautiful. Try not to get eaten by that curb too much. I don't know what the timing's like at the moment. Oh, we are massively ahead, actually. Jesus. Okay, the NASDonk might actually prove to be a good car. Coming around the final corner. A little bit messy through that last section, gotta be honest. A little bit of short shifting. Just go, just go. 49.857. For the NASDonk, and not going to roll. Okay, good. Yeah, that is surprisingly okay. I wouldn't recommend it by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not bad in terms of what it is. I mean, you look at it, it's raised kind of high, 24-inch wheels. Again, admittedly, 345 tyres on the rear end. I wonder what this thing would actually be like as a drag car. Maybe I'll have to investigate that at some point. Anyways, a 49.857 will put this car into 12th place. It doesn't quite beat the AMC Pacer V8 Twin Turbo, but it does beat out the Mazda Speed 3 by almost half a second. Beats out the Volvo 850 NASCAR Nightmare by almost a second. Yeah, it's not quite with all of the terrible cars, it's just sort of, yeah, surprisingly decent. Well, there you go, Angel. Your plan to kill me didn't work this time, although it did work on the Polaris quite badly. Anyways, that is it for this edition of a Silly Car Showdown. I do hope you've enjoyed. If you'd like to request cars for this series, you can do so in the comment section below. And if you'd like to check out my channel, that is in the description below. And are we going to roll it? Yes, we are. There it goes. Fantastic. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching this edition of Silly Car Showdown, and until next time, farewell.